Joining us on the phone now from Baghdad is Loveday Morris, the Baghdad bureau chief for the Washington Post. Loveday, explain what you're seeing.
Well, we had a situation this morning. Basically, Parliament was meant to hold a session today to vote on this cabinet reshuffle that Abadi, the Prime Minister, has been trying to push through in order to bring about some changes to appease the street. But that Parliament session was postponed. Sadr gave a speech where he said he didn't ask the protesters to storm the green zone, but he riled them up somewhat. And minutes afterwards, you had hundreds of people pushing through the security cordons. They got into Parliament. They were breaking chairs. There were calls for them to be peaceful, but there were some scuffles. Some MPs were attacked as they came out. Some of them, as far as we know, some MPs are still hiding, actually hiding in the basement of Parliament. They haven't been able to get out. They've locked themselves into rooms to try and hide from these protesters.
Can you talk about kind of what came together here for these people to be so angry, those who may not have been following the situation very closely? You have major security problems in Iraq. You have economic problems in Iraq. Can you just, Loveday, describe for us kind of the culmination of this happening?
Sure. I mean, this is something that's been building really for almost a year now. Last summer, when there was a heat wave in Baghdad, you had a lot of people coming out onto the streets, and there was no electricity, no air conditioning. Obviously, it gets extremely hot here, so people coming out on the streets demanding better services. People are very frustrated with the system that's been in place for the last 13 years. They've seen very little reward for the oil money that Iraq has. They see their politicians getting rich and that not filtering down to society. So there's a lot of frustration. A lot of people came out onto the streets last summer and then kept on holding weekly protests. Abadi has tried to reform. He said he's going to act against corrupt politicians. But really, the system here, corruption is so entrenched. There's very little he can do to actually make meaningful change. And then Sadr put his weight behind these protests earlier this year. Really got his followers out onto the street, and we saw tens of thousands on the street sort of last month demanding reforms. And Abadi still hasn't been able to do much, enact much. Parliament has been in chaos. People have been throwing things at each other. Every session he holds descends into chaos. So really, this was just the culmination of all that, the frustration of the street that Parliament can't do anything to address these underlying issues in Iraq.
Loveday Morris in Baghdad for us. Thank you so much for being on the phone with us. Great information. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.